Hi, good morning, my dear student, and welcome in my class. I have discussed your chapter first from beginning of the time. In this chapter, we have discussed the various important topics one by one. We have read about human evolution, tool technique, regional replacement model, their houses and fooding lodging system, their communication, and all things, and some definition also, ethnography, anthropology, artifact, primates, and such type of others. What we have discussed in your topics, in your chapter, this is very important. Please see my previous video and try to understand the every and each. As I inform you, my last video, that we have completed our syllabus, chapter first. But I promise you that I will recall the chapter first, and I will give you some notes also, but you have to note it down. I will tell you the definition. I will tell you some informations about this chapter. You have to note it down. So let us start. That is the very important things. First, we have to start the origin of human on earth, or human like animal on earth. Around 5.6 Maya, the first human like creature appeared on the earth. However, the first human being resembling our modern day version walked the earth around 1,60,000 years ago. The lifestyle of early human being is best understood from human fossils, stone, tools, and cave paintings discovered during archaeological excavation and research. Some fossils have contributed immensely in archaeologists understanding the lives of early human beings. Around 5.6 Maya, the first hominids evolved from the hominids. I have already teach you about the differences between the hominids and hominids. 5.6 Maya, the first hominid evolved from hominids. Unlike their predecessors, the hominids had large brain, upright posture, specialized hand, and bipedal locomotions, or walked on 2 feet. When I teach the difference between hominids and hominids, I will tell you that I teach you there that the upright posture, free of their 2 hands, it is the great opportunity for the early humans. He used their hand and their mind. He did a great revolution in the human history. Hominid, and after all, hominid change in Hominidae family. In the Hominidae family, there are the various species. The Phyllopithecus, Dryopithecus, Oreopithecus, Ramapithecus, Australopithecus, Paranthropithecus, and Homo. They were the family of hominids. These are the hominids which was evolved from the hominids. These are the families which I take the name of the various species. Around 2.5 Maya, with the one set of the ice age, the world underwent major changes in climate and vegetation. These changes led to the expansion of grassland and reduction of forest cover. These changes resulted in the gradual extinctions of the early forms of the Australopithecus genus, which were adapted to forest, and further evolution of the Homo genus, who could survive in rare conditions. I have already teach you about that word Homo. That is Latin word. Their meaning is man. And I have discussed about the three main human species. Human species, that was first the Homo habilis, that was called the first tool maker. Homo erectus, that was upright man. And third, that was Homo sapiens, that was thinking man. Even I given you the various names and the hierarchical categories: hominid to Homo genus, Homo genus to Australopithecus, Australopithecus to Homo erectus, then Homo neanderthal, then Homo sapiens, then after Homo sapiens the sapiens, and explain about them. Other human species like Chancelet Grimaldi, Chaucotians, Cultures human, Java human, Peking human, and such type of others I have explained in my previous video. If you will see, then you will get it about the information of the human. The place of origin of the modern human is still a topic of debate, because most of the earliest evidence of the Homo sapiens has been found in Africa. That is very important. That is the disputed matter in the archaeologist. There are two types of hypothesis of the origin of human, early human. कहाँ पैदा हुआ? That is a disputed matter. No doubt, they studied about that, and finally they accepted two views. But here arises question: was there a single center of human origin or multiple centers? That questions, they studied based on that question, and they decided the two theories: regional continuity model and the replacement model. In my one video, complete 15 minutes, I was explained the regional and replacement model and their importance. You should see it. But here in short, I explain both. The regional continuity model: Homo sapiens originated in multiple or different parts of the world and evolved in their respective regions from local archaic humans. This theory justifies the variation in humans in different parts of the world. That is regional continuity model. According to that, man evolved on the various places in world, not their origin belong to one place. But second, replacement model clearly explained that the Homo sapiens originated in the single region, Africa, later migrated to other parts of the world and evolved in those parts. They replaced all other archaic human in those regions. Thus, it entails that all people today share a relatively modern African ancestry. This theory justifies the anatomically homogeneity amongst all humans in the world. There are two theories, and then after we have to know about the human discovery. I have also explained about the human discovery, 7th July 1959. In our first video, I give you the various information about the discovery of the humans. You should watch my first video. But what started in your book, 17th July 1959, the Olduvai Gorge was the first discovered in the early 20th century by a German butterfly collector. Olduvai has come to be identified with Mary, Louis and Leakey, who worked here for over 40 years. It was Mary Leakey who directed archaeological excavation at Olduvai and found human-like some skull part. That was Australopithecus. That is the very important things. I have given the various information about hominids in few lines. If you want to note it, the hominids, they have small brain, they have quadrupeds walking on four legs, their hands are not properly open, their backbone is bent, they include apes. But the evolved from hominid, they were developed from the hominids. Their features was different from hominids. Hominids to hominids. Hominids, they were totally different. They were developed. The hominids, they have larger brain than hominids. Their posture is upright. They are 2 feet. They're walking 2 feet, not 4. Their hands were developed. Their finger is also in the proper manner. Their backbone was not bent. They were upright. They were different from the apes. What was their communication? I have already discussed about the communication. Their communication was 3 types. First, the pictographic form of the writings. Second, I want to clarify you that they have no written script in the prehistoric era. They uses various sign and expression as a language. One video on based on particular communications, where I teach you about the communication of the early humans. You have to see and you have to understand what is the important of that things. And one more important things, what I tell you, that I will give you some important notes. So let's start some points. I summarize this chapter from beginning of the time. First, you start the first heading, source of understand early human history. Here you have to write, here you have to start the evidences. On behalf of that, you know about the history of early human. So point first, discoveries of human fossils, stone, tools and cave paintings help us to understand early human history. Each of these discoveries has a history of its own. Second, definition of fossils. Fossils are the remains or impression of very old human which have turned into stone. These are often embedded in rock and are thus preserved for the millions of years. Stone tools. What was the stone tools? Stone tools, I again informed you, the Homo habilis, that was the first human who made stone. Homo habilis was the developing form of the hominids. No need to explain that he was using their two hands and their mind to fulfill their requirements, their needs. He started to make tools. Stone tools made and used by early humans are available in the various parts of Africa and Europe. Stone tools and Asia also. Stone tools such as pebbles, sharp stones, stone blades, chopping, hand axe, cleaver, etc. were used for various purposes in early human life. And resource number 4, paintings. That is a very important. Altamira Cave, Lux Grove. The paintings found on the walls of the cave in Europe and Africa, in India also. They are helping us to understand the early human history. Most scholars refuse to accept that these objects were the remains of early humans. They did not believe the ability of early human to make stone tools or prints, because according to Old Testament of the Bible, human origin was an act of certain by God और क्रिएशन बाय गॉड, एक निश्चित समय पे भगवान के द्वारा उनकी व्यवस्था की गई. आफ्टर ए फ्यू ईयर द ट्रू significance of these finds was realized. When 1859 the book was wrote by Charles Darwin. I have explained in my video. You have to see. And आप नोट्स बनाएंगे, अगले चरण में लिखेंगे कैसे डेवलपमेंट हुआ. हाउ वाज निएंडरथल मैन्स स्कल डिस्कवर्ड, हाउ वाज ऑस्ट्रेलोपिथेकस ह्यूमन्स स्कल्स वर डिस्कवर्ड. It is the history of the excavation, exploration to find out their remains part of the body. Step by step we will discuss. August 1856. Workmen who were quarrying the limestone in Neander Valley, a gorge near the German city of the Dusseldorf, found a skull and some skeleton fragments. These are handed over to Carl Fulrott, a local schoolmaster and natural historian who realized that they did not belong to modern human. He then made a plaster cast of the skull and sent it to Hermann Schaffmann. Schaffmann was professor of anatomy at Bonn University in Germany. He studied about that skulls. The following year, they jointly published a paper claiming that this skull represented a form of human that was extinct. At the time, scholars did not accept that view and instead declared that the skull belonged to the person of more recent times. But later they accepted it and named as a Neanderthal man. The story of human evolution, next topic. The story of human evolution. This is a very easy topic. Between 36 millennium year and 24 million year, primates, a category of mammals, emerged in Asia and Africa. Primates are a subgroup of a larger group of mammals. They included monkeys, apes, and humans. They have body hair, relatively long gestation period following birth, mammary glands, different type of teeth, and the ability to maintain a constant body temperature. Between 24 Maya and 5.6 Maya, there emerged a subgroup amongst primates called hominids. Hominids are different from monkeys in a number of ways. They have a large body and do not have a tail. Besides, there is a longer period of infant development and the dependency amongst hominids. Listen carefully. I am telling about hominids, not hominid. Okay. Between 5.6 Maya and 1.8 Maya, hominids. Hominids is developed form of the hominids. I am telling about now that time I am telling about hominids.